Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame. How are we all doing? It has been quite a journey over here, the last week and a half or so since the Taurus full moon, that huge supermoon, that biggest moon. You may notice, you may be able to see through these bandages on my nose, and I will share that part of my journey of transformation and shedding has been a rebirthing of my septum, which was deviated as I emerged from the birth canal, and over the years has needed some realigning, some receiving of love and divine intervention. And this time of transformation, as we are in this turning energy of Scorpio season, the moment for me to allow this resetting has occurred, which is also why I've been a little quiet over the last week and a half or two here in the YouTube verse. But through all of this healing and transformation and this eye opening and receiving, and through congestion and swelling and feeling all of those places where breath had been previously constricted, it is my honor and privilege to come to you here now in this moment and share some weavings about the Scorpio new moon. If you're interested in the journey that I took to get to this place over in the members portal over on Circle, I share some more about it. For now, let's really feel into the energies of the Scorpio new moon, which will have its peak at 10:37 p.m., sorry, 10:47 p.m. in the Pacific time zone on the 19th of November. So for most of the planet on the 20th of November. This, like the Taurus supermoon being the largest moon from our visual perspective, the closest moon to the Earth. This new moon is what's known as a micromoon. What that means is that it is at its farthest point from the Earth in its orbit. Micro and farthest, not least of which can we feel giving us access to that which seems more minute. So as we come into this lunation energy through the dark, wizened crone moon of the waning crescent into that void point, we find the sun and the moon and Mercury retrograde at 28 degrees of Scorpio. Uranus has, since we last spoke, returned to the 29 of Taurus, basically directly across the wheel. So we feel the sun and moon working together with that messenger, that expressive energy, that communicative energy of Mercury, of Thoth, Enoch, Hermes, coming deeper within us, deeper within us. New moons bring us into that void place, into our beingness. Scorpio, deep emotionality, explorations of power and sexuality. Uranus, awakening, awakening. lightning bolt, electricity, technology, new technologies. In its last weavings, this last couple of months of its journey through Taurus, retrograde, and then in December turning around forward once again. The mercurial solar lunar conjunction in Scorpio is inviting us to explore the depths within us, to explore the depths within us. And when we feel how Black Moon Lilith at 26 degrees of Scorpio, with her interpolated version as well there, we can feel that question of creative oomph, of the primordial feminine, of that part of us that refuses to submit and be told that we are smaller than we are. These journeyers together in the transformational, transitional energies of deep guttural knowing that is Scorpio are creating a very, very potent Grand Water Trine, inviting us to get into the deepest layers of our emotionality with the now retrograde Jupiter in Cancer as part of this water trine at 25 degrees. Moving backwards through the lands that it had traveled previously, making bigger, inviting greater benefit from our emotional spelunking. As Saturn, still retrograde in Pisces at 25 degrees, is also part of this trine. Now we have Neptune having come back in to Pisces at the 29 degree as well, and we can feel how the sun, the moon, and Mercury are connected to this also. And it is all bringing us into an awareness of something that is happening as 2026 begins to birth in the end of January, beginning of February, and throughout, a beautiful convergence that's occurring at that same moment when Saturn and Neptune have their exact conjunction. But we'll talk more about that in another update. Deep plunging, awakening access to the waters of our being, to our emotionality, releasing stagnation from that emotional journeying, transforming trauma into gifts, feeling all of those places where we said, but only if. Awakening to our transcendence. This is the second new moon at the 28 degree of its sign, the second of six. And we are getting to play with those culminations, those transitions, all of that energy of movement as one turn of the karmic dharmic wheel begins to shift into another. So, how do we get there? What is this energy? How do we explore all of those gifts within our emotionality through the heart? Allowing the heart and the digestive system to converse with one another. Feeling how our sight is enhanced and opened wider when we allow our inner knowing, our intuition, that guttural feeling to move through our heart space and reveal what was once hidden. Scorpio is occulted wisdom. And during this lunation, we also find Sophia, gnosis, that of which the Gnostic tradition speaks, wisdom, in a basically exact conjunction with the galactic center. And remember where we began this journey, that understanding that the micro, the minute seeming, the farthest reaches are becoming available to us as part of this lunation, should we choose to open and receive them. Wisdom from beyond the beyond, the seemingly beyond. And here we feel that Neptunian energy again, that Uranian energy again. And then we feel how Hekate, Mars, and Juno and the Great Attractor are all swimming together in Sagittarius in a beautiful T-square with the South Node in Virgo and the North Node in Pisces. And we can start to understand that what we are at the crossroads of is the choice of which direction, which voice, which remembering we allow into our exploration, into our journey. Let's feel for a moment, what does this mean, this crossroads that is available to us? What does it mean to allow that deeper knowing within? To feel all of the information in the minute, in the subatomic. What if it is allowing yourself to understand the language that your cells speak, that your blood speaks, that the mitochondria and the microbiome of your body speak? Opening your channel to receive from these seemingly infinitesimal parts of your being. Those parts that remember how to communicate with your stellar being. the mitochondria singing songs that call in the divine light of your being. And you can feel how the tinnitus, the ringing of your ears might be some of this song. The little floaters that you see in your eyes, those specks of light, the rainbow prisms on a dewdrop, all have information encoded within that can help you to remember your connection to the all of everything. Let's feel for a moment. We are really swimming in the primordial soup in this transmission. And I'm going to invite you to take a moment and feel that primordial soup. Feel that void point. To close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Now, if you're driving a car or doing some other task, you might not be able to do this, so it might be better for you to come back to this practice. But if you have the capacity in this moment, I'm going to invite you to close your eyes, to notice the light that tickles behind your eyelids, to feel each pixel of that light. To notice one of the pixels that burns a little brighter, and to connect in through intention, opening as that pixel widens and widens and widens and becomes a path which you can now walk into your future's past. Feel, if you will, yourself enveloped in this light. And remember all that you have been, all that you are, that I am. Allow that remembering to connect you in to your physicality, through your heart, as you feel how this path that you walked through that pixel light carried you into the deepest chamber of your heart space. And it is from there now that you re-emerge back into this place. And you feel your body enveloped in this love light. And you remember You remember. You never left. It has always been there. It will always be there. And that is the always. That was a fun journey that we got to take today. Let me feel if there's more on the astrology that wants to be woven through. These crossroads, yeah, these crossroads. When we connected, this journey that we got to take through that pixel of light that appeared when we closed our eyes, that guided us into a deeper place in our heart. One of the ways that you can explore this from a mental plane sort of space, a visualization, if you will, is that we followed one of the electromagnetic lines, one of the lines of the Taurus field that connects our heart and our mind. You can do this same practice beginning within the heart, finding one line, connecting to one of those electromagnetic lines and connecting down into the Taurus field, down into the Taurus field of your creative center, your navel sacral, or up into the Taurus field of your mind. Following these lines, these electromagnetic explorations can help us to connect with that part of us, that etheric part of us, and to bring more consciousness into those seemingly microscopic energies, those invisible energies. And when we talk about this crossroads that we're coming into, that we have approached and that is open to us, these various pathways with this Scorpio new moon, part of what we are getting to connect with is those aspects of us that invite connection to all of the possible paths. And here we have that Neptunian energy in Pisces retrograde, that Saturnian energy in Pisces retrograde, that Uranian energy in Taurus retrograde, that Mercurial energy in Scorpio retrograde, and that Jupiterian energy in Cancer retrograde. And we can feel all of these movings deeper and deeper, inviting us to feel all of these previously invisible aspects of our being and to choose a path, kind of like one of those choose your own adventure stories, and to follow that thread as far as we're called in any moment. And here, feeling that T-square with the north nodes and the south nodes and Hekate and Juno and Mars and the Great Attractor. Following that path, inviting us to touch into all that is true and collect it back into our beings and release anything from those stories that is not needed in this next turning of the wheel, in this next part of the journey. I think that's where we leave today. If you are called, over in Circle, we will have our new moon transmission and activation. That's going to happen on the 20th. Come on over, there's links below. I still will have until the end of the month of November the Venus Point transmission and activation available for free for anyone who wants to explore it. There's also going to be a link below for that. And however you travel these various paths, however you connect to the all potentialities and clear and clean and restructure and re-invite and invoke truth, love, divine presence. It is with so much and many loves that I share these readings with you from the dimensions of the all and beyond the beyond. Thank you.